Hello dear students of class 6. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to Amar Ghore Amar School. Today we are going to discuss lesson 35 from our English for Today book, which is an interesting story on the garden. After today's discussion, we will be able to, number 1, read and understand texts. Number 2, use punctuation marks. And number 3, understand and enjoy stories. So, let's read the story together. The Garden by Arnold Lobel. Frog was in the garden. Toad came walking by. "What a fine garden you have, Frog," he said. "Yes," said Frog. "It is very nice, but it was hard work." "I wish I had a garden," said Toad. "Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground," said Frog, "and soon you will have a garden." "How soon?" asked Toad. "Very soon," said Frog. So, very interesting, I think. Yes. So, Toad and Frog, they are talking each other about a garden, a flower garden. So here, Frog had already one garden, flower garden, and Toad was really surprised to see this flower garden. And Toad wished to have the same flower garden. Okay, and so Frog gave some flower seeds to plant them and have the same flower garden. Yes. So let's go to the next. Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. "New seeds," said Toad, "start growing." Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds didn't start to grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and cried, "Now seeds, start growing." The seeds didn't start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now seeds, start growing." Very funny, isn't it? Yes. Toad didn't know how to grow flower from the seeds. And so he actually thought that maybe requesting or shouting made the seeds grow from the ground. Yes, very funny. So let's go to the next. Frog ran up the path. "What is going on?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You're shouting too much," said Frog. "These poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. "Yes," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow." So Frog was very experienced about gardening, and he knew how to make a garden, how seeds grow from the ground. So seeds need sunshine and rainwater. Okay, go to the next. That night, Toad looked out of his window. "Oh no," cries Toad, "my seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. Toad read a long story to his seeds. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. Very funny. Okay, Toad was actually very excited, but Toad didn't know how to make garden. So he thought, very funny, yes, that story could make his seeds to grow from the ground. Yes, very wrong idea. So what's next? Very interesting. Let's see. And all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds didn't start to grow. What shall I do? Cried Toad. These seeds are still afraid to grow. Then Toad felt very tired and he fell asleep. Okay, so very hard work, yes, but he didn't know how to work correctly to make a garden. Yes. So go to the next. Toad, Toad, wake up, said Frog. Look at your garden. Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. At last, shouted Toad, my seeds are not afraid anymore. And now you will have a nice garden too, said Frog. Yes, said Toad, but you are right, Frog. It was a very hard work. So, we actually see here that Toad got the plants. Yes. And he was really happy and excited to see the little plants growing out of the ground. Yes. So very interesting story, isn't it? Now, from your reading of the story, choose the best answer from the alternatives. Yes, you need to choose the best answer from the alternatives. Question 1, the first thing Toad did was number 1, watered the seeds. Option B, kept the seeds in the sun. Option C, planted the seeds. And option D, put the seeds in the box. Can you guess what will be the right answer? I think. Yes, you got the right answer. The answer will be planted the seeds. Exactly. Toad firstly planted the seeds. We can go to the next question. Question 2. What do the seeds need to grow? A. Story. B. Courage. C. Song. And D. Sunshine and rainwater. Can you remember story, song, courage? They were actually needless. So answer will be sunshine and rainwater. Finally, okay, with sunshine and rainwater, the flower seeds came out of the ground. Yes. Go to the next question. Question 3. Find the false information. Option A. Frog had a beautiful garden. B. Toad wished to have beautiful garden too. C. Preparing a garden is not a hard work. And option D. Toad did a lot of mischiefs. So what will be the false information from these alternatives? Yes. Okay, let's see what could be the false information. Frog had a beautiful garden. No, it's correct. Toad wished to have beautiful garden too. It's also a right information. Preparing a garden is not a hard work. No, preparing a garden is a hard work. So this is the false information and it will be the answer. Okay, let's see the last option. Toad did a lot of mischiefs. Exactly. It's also correct information. The answer is C. Dear students, when you read the story, certainly you have understood punctuation marks are really important to form a text, to write down a text. Yes. And in this story, there are lots of punctuation marks. So let's see how punctuation marks work here. Let's see an example first. Yes, said Frog. It is very nice, but it was hard work. So what you can see in this line, the use of comma. Exactly. So where is comma? After yes, and here after nice. So when we use comma, and why we use comma? Okay, let's see. Commas indicate one part of the sentence ends and another part begins. Exactly. Okay, now see another example from the story. So what's this? Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. So in this example, what kind of punctuation mark we have got? Yes, that is full stop. So now let's start about full stop. Number one, we usually use full stop at the end of a declarative or assertive sentence. For example, I like the classes of Amar Ghore Amar School. This is one kind of declarative or assertive sentence. So how we can measure it is declarative or assertive? It starts with a subject, and after that we find a verb. So this kind of assertive sentence ends with a full stop. Exactly. And this kind of assertive or declarative sentence ends with a full stop. Exactly. Another use, we use full stop at the end of a short form. Sometimes we write short form. After short form, we use full stop. For example, Dr. Sumaya is my sister. So, where is the short form here? Doctor. Yes. We have written here the short form of doctor, and after this short form, we use full stop. Let's see another sentence from the story. What shall I do? Cried Toad. These seeds are still afraid to grow. So, look at this sentence very carefully. What punctuation mark here? Question mark. Exactly. So now let's see how question marks are used. We use question marks at the end of an asking question. For example, how are you? So I'm asking you, how are you? So after this question sentence, we use question mark. Yes. Okay, see another sentence. Toad, Toad, wake up, said Frog. Look at your garden. Yes. Exclamation mark. It is really important. So when we use exclamation marks, we use exclamation marks at the end of a sentence or phrase to warn, to express anger, wonder, excitement, or any other emotions. Sometimes we use exclamation marks after interjections. So what we have got, that is, we use exclamation mark for emotions. So what are the emotions? I can warn, I can be angry, I can be wonder, and I can show my excitement. And after interjections. Let's see the examples. So if I say someone, be careful, that means I'm warning someone. So to warn someone, we use here exclamation mark. Don't disturb me, that means I'm really angry. Don't disturb me. So to show my anger, after this sentence, we use here exclamation mark. Oh, finally it has come. So in this sentence, we start with an interjection. Oh, okay. So after interjection, we use here an exclamation mark. Exactly. So I think exclamation mark is clear to you. Let's see another sentence from the story. Yes, said Toad, but you were right, Frog. It was a very hard work. So what kind of punctuation mark we can see? Yes, quotation marks. Okay, let's see an example. We use quotation marks with direct quotes. Exactly, direct quotes. For example, "What shall I do?" cried Toad. So, it is actually a direct quote of Toad. Toad is saying, "What shall I do?" This is the direct quotation or quote of Toad. So we use here quotation mark at the beginning and at the end of the quote that Toad remarked. Exactly. So I think all the punctuation marks are clear to you. Now we can go to the practice session. Yes, we can go. Let's see. So what we need to do, we need to rewrite the following text with appropriate punctuation marks in the gaps. Okay, let's see the text. In India, there was a Mughal emperor, Akbar the Great. So what will be the answer? What will be the right punctuation mark? So I think here, Akbar the Great, it is the introduction or description about Mughal emperor. So we certainly learned that to introduce someone or something, we use comma. Exactly. So answer will be A, comma. Exactly. His full name was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and he ruled India from 1560 to 1605. So here is the ending of the declarative sentence or assertive sentence. Certainly we know after the end of an declarative sentence we use here full stop. Yes. He himself was illiterate, but he invited. So this is a part of a sentence, and after this part another part begins. So we can use here a comma. He himself was illiterate, comma, but he invited several learned people in his court. Among these people, 9 were very famous and were called Navratna, 9 jewels of Mughal crown of his court. Among these 9 jewels, 5 people were more famous: Tansen, Tojamal, Abul Fazl, Mansingh, and Birbal. See, we find a series of names: Tansen, Todermal, Abul Fazl, Mansingh, and Birbal. So, for a series of item or noun or things, we can use comma. Exactly. Do you know them all? It's an asking question. So certainly for an asking question, we use here a question mark. Yes, I think we have practiced well and you have understood how punctuation marks are used in a text or in a story. Now, dear students, let's recap what we have learned so far. Number 1, we have learned how to read and understand texts. Number 2, how to use punctuation marks. And number 3, how to understand and enjoy stories. Now there will be homework. Yes. So this is homework part. Now you need to rewrite the text with correct punctuation marks which are missing. This is an interesting story. So here punctuation marks are talking to each other. Let's see. Well, I know where I belong, says full stop. Yes, full stop is saying. I always stand at the end of a sentence. No, I go at the end of a sentence, says question mark. So here question mark is speaking. No way, yells exclamation mark. So exclamation mark yells, no way. I'm one who belongs at the end of a sentence. So, exclamation mark is also telling. Nobody can agree and the letters and the words just keep zooming around in confusion. So, all the letters, all the words are in confusion. Very interesting. What will we do? Ask Koma. So, this is an interesting story and you need to find out where the punctuation marks are missing and you need to correct the missing punctuation marks. Yes. So remember, after completing this homework in a separate notebook, you must submit to your English teacher when your school opens, and it's a part of your continuous assessments. Exactly. It is really important. So thank you very much. Follow the instructions of government and stay safe. Thank you again from Amar Ghore Amar School. If you want to watch this lesson again, just keep watching Amar Ghore Amar School and our YouTube channel. See you again.